Skylar Santana, man.
What's
Hey,
going
had your
on?
wives, boy. Had your wives, cause hey, if you're a watch lover, woo, that boy smooth, boy.
Yo, that was, bro, that was hilarious, man.
Bro.
I was so fatigued because, like I said before, I did the whole live an hour prior, and like,
Hmm.
I don't know if this happens to you, like when you're recording or anything less. Like sometimes I'll go out and I'll shoot some videos, and I'll do a
Hmm.
couple takes, and by a couple I mean I'll do like 15, 20 takes, right? Just choose
Right.
which one I want. By like 21 takes, I'm like jumbling up my words. I forget exactly what I want to talk about. So I get video fatigue, you know?
Yep.
So at that point in time, that was video fatigue.
Bro, trust me, I know because it'll roll right off your tongue, bro. And like you know in your head what you want to say, but then something else comes out your mouth. I'm like, ooh, yeah,
and,
bro.
and
That's why I was laughing so hard.
that was live. So that was my true reaction. I was like, "Yeah, touch and feel your wives." And I was just like, I looked over at my wife, like, touch and feel your wives. My wife just looked at me like, what did you just say? St. Joe's,
Hey,
what's
I
going
was
on?
dying. I was dying, bro. I was dying, man. Hey,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
I do like. I'm glad I got you on, man, because you have invoked a number of topics that we've been kicking around behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Um, I'm gonna say you were one of the first people I watched do a Sam Martin review, and it seemed like that was the floodgate, right? Like that was opened up, and that led to so many different conversations. I'm looking in the chats. I'm even commenting on other people's channels about Sam Martin, not just Sam Martin, but the whole idea of one, micro brands and affordable timepieces, right? What's
Mhm.
their place? And there's some people that are diehard. They're like, I am not changing my views. Tudor should not be homage. Rolex should not be homage. Patek Philippe should not be homage. Vacheron and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
You are taking away. You're taking the integrity away of those companies, man. And bro, that just started this big debate, bro. Like it was like, okay, you had some people like me, like, okay, what is I'm not gonna say the American way anymore, but like what is the world as far as business entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? Having your name solidified in for whatever, I don't care if it's cigarettes, I don't care if it's magazines, like your name means something or the company that you build means something. And there's always going to be a lesser. So you go to, well, I said this last month. Go to Walmart right now. You have Lysol, and then you have Great Value, and then you have another like smaller generic brand or a
Mhm.
different company, Johnson and Johnson or whatever the case is. So, bro, you stated yourself that you're looking more to support the micro brands and the
Yeah.
more affordable brands and stuff like that. And I wanted to pick your brain on that, bro. So right now, okay, we already know Sam Martin is one that's on your list.
Mhm.
What other brands are you looking at? Not saying that you're going to buy watch tomorrow, but like what other brands interest you right now? In that research you did, I followed that video, which was pretty nice, by the way. What are
Thank
you
you.
looking? What are you looking for next, bro?
To be honest with you, I think that my options are open right now. I don't think that I'm particularly looking at just one brand. I think that I'm at the point now where I'm doing a lot of homework. I'm doing a lot of research. I want to see these guys in person, touch and feel their watches. And yeah, man, I'm doing a lot of homework. I do know that Jack Mason is one of them. And I'll be honest with you, it's more than just the watches that have been impressing me. It's more so about how their contact is with the community and how
Mhm.
they relate with them and how they interact with them and what role are they playing as far as that goes. So it's a little bit more than just because listen, if you go into the micro brand spaces, there are a lot of them that are doing well and doing it the right way, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of quality pieces out there. So where do you go from there? Obviously, you have your own particular, movements and other things that you value that will sway you towards what you really want. But I think that for me, it's like I need the other half of that coin, and that's exactly what I meant by that. It's what are they doing for the watch community? How are they, presenting themselves during the shows? Are they personable? Are they going to a lot of the shows and everything else. But I do have a couple of guys in mind for sure. Christopher Ward is everybody's knows the name and everybody knows the watch. Jack Mason for sure. I'm a big fan of Laurier, for the reason of more of the people behind the company. I saw your live that you did with them. Fantastic people. I also think
Yeah.
that they do a very nice thing with the vintage space and everything else. So, you know, I can't say like I'm giving myself some time to really, collect that information first. But I can't say that those three names are probably really on the top of my list for now before I'm really ready to start pulling some triggers on
Okay. Okay,
that.
I'm looking at the chat. The new Noma 8 is coming. Yeah, I saw the renderings for it. There's some other pieces that Invictus coming out with. And we're actually going to include them in today's conversation.
Mm,
Because there's something I'm like behind the screen right now. I was doing a review on my glycine piece. And then my Invicta pieces, right? But here's the deal, bro. I had mentioned before that, and you said it. When you go to one of these watch events, be it Intersect, uh, Wind Up, whatever, Christopher Ward, wherever they are, people are coming there. And the crazy thing is, they don't sell watches there. They are
right.
there solely to give information. They talk about their product. They believe in their product. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that because I've worked in retail and stuff like that,
Mm,
I look at a company that will discount their product heavily, right? And it's like Movado. I don't particularly believe in today's Movado, right?
mm,
Back in the day, yeah, but today's Movado I really don't like, and it's the price point. What you're
right.
getting, you know what I'm saying? It's like it really don't add up because there's too many other watches, there's too many options, and
Mm,
if I'm going to go in that direction and then they're starting to adopt, like the integrated bracelet and this, that, and the other, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not, I'll just stick with either Citizen or Tissot. But the point I'm making is they don't have to discount because they believe in their product. They believe their product is solid and it's gonna stand up. You know what I'm saying, against some other watches. Case in point, the Bell Canto was compared to a Vacheron. It was one particular model. I can't remember what model it was, but somebody said, "Whoa, the Bell Canto and kind of resembles this Vacheron." And then like the guy was like, absolutely not. They're in like the finishing, the materials, all this other stuff. But it don't matter because the professional knows the difference between the two watches. But the customer can say, like, because it's really the customer's place to like, okay, I like that. I see the price point, and I will go with the Christopher Ward. I was looking at the Vacheron, but seeing that there's a huge price difference, I'm gonna go over here and get that one. You know what I'm saying? So I would, man.
right.
I look at it. I look at it from this standpoint, bro. I'm curious as to where the average collector or enthusiast, are they going to start swinging towards some of these lower end watches or least expensive watches? Like that's my curiosity, to be honest.
I think
What's
that
up,
they
Bob?
should because at the end of the day, yeah, what's going on, guys? Robert Woods in the building. I think that they should because, when you really look into it, you really dive deep. You see that you're getting the things that all collectors really appreciate, right? The movement, the finishing, the innovative, everything else. And, at the end of the day, is Christopher Ward just really exposing the luxury brands as far as what the value should be? Because they're black and white. They say we take what it costs for our watches and we times three. And anybody respectively selling a product is going to do that because you have to cover yourself as far as it goes and you have to have cushion and everything else. So I'm all right with
Hmm.
times three. In fact, I think that's super fair. They could get away with a lot more. You and I both know that. So the
Yep.
reason why Chris Ward is high on my list is because I watched them very closely, and I have to say, in my opinion, they're probably top dog. Going by everything that we're seeing as far as what they're doing with their in-house movements, as far as seeing the crowd and how they grab it. They're damn near Rolex. If you go into the big events, everybody's running to Rolex, right? I think that they're the
Hmm.
Rolex of the independent brand. So
Oh
I
yes.
watched them. I watched them, and what they do is they did a very smart thing. They hired Mike, right? He's the face of the company as far as the events, as far as taking part of the communities. We're both on Watch Crunch. He's often posting. I've messaged him directly. He answered me. So as far as that customer experience, as far as spending time, spending money into making sure that you and I and everyone else that goes to see them has that experience, and then not even selling watches, like you said, it really just shows, man. It's like this company cares so much. You know what I mean? So that's exactly why they're on my list. They're not on my list just because they're Christopher Ward and just because they're one
Yeah,
of the top
yeah,
brands, bro. It's really not about that. It's really not about that. But they get a little bit of extra brownie points for being top dog and still not being arrogant. You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay. Yeah. How much is a Rolex to build? So, okay. So I sat and talked to two watchmakers, right?
Mm,
And they threw some numbers out, low end numbers,
mm,
like how much is to make a Rolex Submariner, right? And there were a few numbers because they didn't pinpoint exactly why, I mean how much, but it was like between 750 and $1,000, right? Closer to the 900 in
wow.
ish dollars, right? To make that, and you have a watch that is the finished product is well over 13, $14,000 based on the people. Then there was a video I saw yesterday that dropped that talked about, they got stock, you know what I'm saying, and they can pick who they want, what
Mm,
customer they want, right? Which really intrigues people, and it sends them to this frenzy. But then there is the one thing you had mentioned, like Chris Ward basically believes in their product and the way they're marketing, right? They're looking out for their profits, but at the same time they're taking care of the customer. When I was an assistant manager at Enterprise, one of the philosophies says if you take care of customers and employees, profits will follow, right?
right.
What does that look like? Right? What does that look like? It's like a business, like, okay, hey, we're not here to actually care for your feelings about, what if we put out a particular model, whatever, but we do want to, give you something that you're looking for, something that we know that you'd be proud of wearing. Right. And
Mm,
and I feel that there's a lot of companies that drop the ball on that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, like, you don't know what's going on. And just left Kokomo, and they know, like, we just had this conversation,
mm,
and they were talking about Invicta. They said, hey, you know what's crazy? Invicta collectors are in their own lane. They're their own niche little spot. You know what I'm saying? So you have your watch collectors, and then you have Invicta collectors. And in the most part, what vein, like, so you have Invicta and Aragon, they sort of run parallel, so they just adopted. And then you
mm.
got Nubeo, and even oh man, Deep Blue, which I don't really know too many people like making a big deal about Deep Blue watches, but a lot of Invicta collectors do have Deep Blue because you can order them off of Shop HQ.
Mm,
But if you compare, like, for example, what you just mentioned, if for people that don't really know, if you've never been to a Christopher Ward exhibit, he does an amazing job for hours explaining the brand, explaining the process. That's the thing. They're explaining the process. They're not saying, hey, this watch is dope, you should get it because it has this, it has this. Now, he do break the watch down, but they talk about the practices. They talk about what you're paying for. They talk about how the business, how they got started. Like, and
mm.
I didn't even know that it was they've been in business for 20 years. So yes,
Yeah,
I do agree with you. As far as the micro brand, yeah, they are the Rolex of the micro brand space, or independence, if you will. And
right.
I don't know, bro. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing on some of these the brands that we rocking with. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not I'm not I'm not liking it, bro. Like, because it's like money
yeah,
grab. Let me
for
get that.
sure.
Let me get that.
For sure, man. And a lot of those companies, it seems like they're sliding backwards on a lot of things. Like it's definitely a money grab. And listen, they're businesses, and obviously they're bigger brands. Even if you talk about Seiko, you talked about any company really, the bigger guys that are just producing more, right? They have more overhead. They have to almost no choice to keep up with the business and stuff like that. I'm not mad if you're doing both, right? I'm not mad if you're jumping on an integrated bracelet kind of vibe and stuff like that, but you got to do both, man. And we're not seeing we're not seeing those efforts from them at all. And it's sad because I mentioned Seiko, but a lot of people, even in my San Martin video, bro, somebody comment, oh, you just don't understand. Seiko is a big brand. They have overhead. If they were to sell their watches at the same rate that San Martin, and I think they misconstrued my video for San Martin showing so much appreciation, because it's not the fact that I don't understand that Seiko has to move how they have to move with all the overhead and all the mass production that they do. What I'm saying is a lot of the times they're dropping the ball, and there's a lot of Seiko fans out there with misaligned stuff, and you're going to get that no matter what. But at the level of what you're seeing it, okay,
Mhm.
that's unacceptable, right? You're a mass producer. You're going to make a whole bunch of watches. So there's absolutely, to any educated, enthusiast or collector, you're definitely going to have some room for like understanding that QC problem, right? But how about it's got to be known by Seiko that everybody loves the SKX, right? Then they came out with the next generation, which was the 5. But then they went backwards on the features. You know what I mean? Like the water depth, screw down
Mhm.
stuff. It's like it's right in front of you now, right? There's so many of us getting online, doing the YouTubes, talking about watches.
Yep.
They know they can easily spend 5 minutes, sit down with videos, type in Seiko enthusiast, whatever the case may be, and just find out what we really want and what we really look for. But it doesn't seem like they care about that. They just seem to care about, the making the profit margins and stuff like that. And it's a shame. And with everything I just said, I want to make things very clear. I love Seiko. I have a lot of respect for them. I think you have to. Without them, a lot of my mods wouldn't even exist, or at
Oh
least
yeah,
it wouldn't have
bro.
been
Yeah.
affordable. So, I don't. It is what it is. I'm not gonna not say something just because I have a lot of respect for them. If you're slipping, you're slipping, and it's gonna be said. But micro brands, that's where they pick up a lot of that, failure. Not just with the luxury brands, right? But even with the affordable brands like Seiko, which they dropped the ball on. So, it is what it is.
Well, you know what? From a customer standpoint, like with Seiko, bro. Like, cause I like, I mean, I had a very expensive Seiko, man, back in the day. I'm talking about going back 25 years ago, and ended up trading that watch for something else. But I've always respected Seiko and always loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, speaking of which, this is my dad's Seiko, bro. Like, he used to go to work in this thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up watching him. He got this in the 70s before I was even born. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
um, this piece, I mean, Seiko pretty much they started it, bro. They killed the game when it comes to watches. So they are solidified as being one of the big brands, right? Next to a Rolex, you know what I'm saying? Because without Seiko, bro, you wouldn't have, like you said, you wouldn't have the mod community, right? There's the like the courts, bro, like they just started so much. However, there's this word, complacency. There's a term,
Hmm.
complacency kills. And there's one thing that I've noticed. It's coming from Boulevard and Citizen. They're starting to make watches and put it at a price point that combats just about everybody, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Ciosa. Ciosa is making waves, bro. Now they have a titanium, and then they got the super titanium. Then they got like the 8 series that's coming out or that's out now. And they hit it at different price points. You got one that's hitting you at around 350 dollars. You got one that's hitting you at 450 to $500. Then you got a higher brand that's hitting you close to 1,000. Right.
Hmm.
So they're covering all bases. And you look at what's most micro brands. They hit micro. I think the average micro brand that you get is going to hit you about $800 on average. That'll give you the Swiss timepiece that you want, But then there's some customers that are like, I don't necessarily have to have Swiss. Give me an ETA, I mean not an ETA, but a Miota that's hitting at
Hmm.
28,800 beats, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
But it comes down to, like you said, Christopher Ward. It's been in there for 20 years. And that, that's an argument too. It's like, yo, how long is this micro brand going to last? Like, am I going to take a chance on a micro brand? Because, dude, we just had something that started last year. Laurier has been since 2016. Zanea, which I have one,
Hmm.
that started. He started that in 2020. Bro, he
Yeah.
4 years in.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things like where do you want to start? You can't have them all. It's too many. Man,
Yeah.
bro. It's way too many watches out there, bro.
Yeah. Definitely. And there's a lot of micro brands, and they're still gonna pop up, you know. But here's the thing about it, man. And this is the way it is. Micro brands today are where Rolex was when they started off when they did. If Rolex had to do it all over again and they had to come out today, they would have to do it in the capacity that the micro brands are doing it. Yeah, and that's my opinion on it, and that's how I really feel because this day and age we have access to all these things. I mean, the micro brands run off of the internet, they run off their webpage, they run off the shows and
Mhm.
everything else. So say today, right, Travis wants to start his own micro brand. How is he going to do that? What's going to be the most affordable way? What's going to give him the least amount of overhead? He has a lot of passion. He knows the design that he wants to bring to the table that's going to separate him. And he has to his, fingertips all the movements that he wants to across the board. If you want to do an NH movement and make the watch really affordable, you could do that. If you want to go with a Miyota, like you said, you could do that. If you want to go with a Swiss, an SW200, you could do that. So at the end of the day, bro, if all these big brands had to start it all over again, that's exactly how they would do it. And we're looking at a Rolex. When it comes to Christopher Ward, we're looking at Rolex in its chronicle eras, in its early stages, and they
Yeah.
already have some heritage. They have a lot of heritage, and I don't know, man. I think micro brands will never go away. I think that
No.
they're here to
No.
stay. I think that
Yeah.
they've solidified where they want to be, and they're happy being in the forefront of guys who are really good enthusiasts that are looking for that value and value the things that we're talking about here. And yeah, dude, there's a video. I'm gonna send it to you later. I'm gonna find the link. You know how it is when you're watching
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
We consume
Yeah.
so much content that we can't. But there's a guy. He's a luxury brand type of guy. Like all his videos are on luxury brands, and he put up the Christopher Ward with the Rolex, and his unbiased opinion. He was just scaling it from heritage to value to quality, finishing, movement, dead even. He came out dead even on his
Mm.
analysis, and I have to agree with it. I'm gonna send you the link, like I said, man, so
Okay.
like that you can take a look at
Okay.
it. But I definitely
Okay.
agree with what he said with, and that's just where it's at, man.
So Robert Wood said, I wonder if the reason Seiko backed off of the specs of the Seiko 5 SKX replacement is because they wanted people to buy the more expensive turtles and tunas, etc.
Oh,
Uh,
he hit it right on the head. I mean, look at
yeah.
what Seiko's been doing, bro. They when they get rid of a watch that's doing really well and they know people really value and want it, they did it with what's that watch, man? I forget the name of the watch. It's the one with the green dial, gold hands. Everybody knows it. Aside from the SKX, everybody
You
knows it.
talking about the Alpinist?
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
when I started getting into collecting, that was a thing, and they just had discontinued it. When they brought it back, it was under Prospex, more money. That's just how they're moving, and that's not nice. That's not nice. I don't think that's you
So
know
so
the way
check
it should
this
be.
out. So I talked to a rep, and Seiko has not announced that they're bringing the Alpinist back for 2025.
Okay.
Ain't no telling what they're going to bring out, but that's not on the list. Right now, I know they just brought back like a 70s model timepiece. The one like I just showed you, this one right here, this was actually I did some research on this. This was actually a
Okay.
chronograph back in the 70s, right? They brought it
Mm,
back, and this one is they're comparing it to the Alpinist. It's really nice. It's dressy. It's a dressy type of watch. And I say it does hit a lot of cylinders. The loom is not, as good as it needs to, like as a dive watch, but like you really don't need loom on everything. I
right.
think and it has a GMT function. It has the like that 34 movement, really nice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
4R. I mean, it's decent. But one of the things we talked about was price point, right? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. They have to have it at a certain price point to push it to move it out. But again, they have to realize that enthusiasts are different than your flipper. Enthusiasts are different than your casual watch, you know what I'm saying, collector. Your
True.
enthusiast is going to look at like, okay, now that watch, I get it because it's from the 70s. I love the design, right?
Mm,
Plus it was a gift for me. So like would I buy that watch? You know what I'm saying? Like off top, I would probably get a cocktail time before I grab that one, to be honest. But it's a nice watch. But then I'm thinking if I did consider that watch and it was at 550, but then Seiko offers you the 25% off, so you're looking around 300, just under $400 for this watch, just under
hmm
$400. And you're like, under $400. Sam Martin got it, man, bro. That stinking was that Black Bay homage I got? That
hmm
watch is solid. That watch it has gilded type of hands and indices around it. The watch is beautiful in my opinion. In my humble opinion, the watch is beautiful. Even with that army green dial on it, the brushing on it, man, is great, and it feels great on the wrist. It don't even look like it. It says it's a 39 millimeter. It plays like a 40-41, right? It's a little bigger, and you still got sapphire crystal NH34. Hands down, bang for buck, that watch is amazing. So with Sam Martin offering stuff like that, I'm like, well, I mean, they got some original designs that's gonna be cheaper than me getting a Seiko.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, so that at that point, Seiko, they'll miss out on my dollar. What's up,
I mean,
Luciano?
yes and no. Yes and no. I'm glad that you brought that up because it brings me back to the point of this, right? And this goes
Hmm.
out to the person who made that comment because I don't mind. I don't mind the pushback. I like the pushback because the pushback makes me think a little bit. It makes me think outside the box. Makes me look at my perspective. Even though that wasn't the stance that I was taking, that he was defending. Here's the deal: Stan Martin doesn't exist without Seiko. They're using NH35 movements. See what I'm saying? So I always
Hmm.
pay homage to, you know, Seiko for that reason, and I understand. But at the end of the day, they created their own space for a
Hmm.
guy like San Martin to pop up because they want to stick with their hardlex crystal. They want to stick with, watering down some of the models and stuff like that. Like you could bet your bottom dollar that the SKX, the original one, is going to come
Yep.
back. It's going to come back, and it's going to come back under prospects, and it's going to be more money, and that's going to be the bump up from that. That's just facts. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
dude, like as much as I love Stan Martin, a lot of respect to them. They even came out with their own independent brand now, Jingguang. But you know, both of them at this point, what wouldn't exist without Seiko? Because even their independent brand, which I thought they were going to step up in their movements. I thought, okay, they're coming out with their own independent brand, all unique designs. Cool. I was excited
Yep.
about it. I was like, maybe they're gonna step up on the movement because there's a lot of people that turn away the NH35 just because they want something that's not gonna. It's just too repetitive. They just want something a little bit better, or they value the high beat movements, whatever the case may be. But again, both companies and a lot of companies that are out there doesn't exist without Seiko. So I'm covering both bases here. I'm not trying to talk
Right.
out the
Right.
side of my mouth, but on both sides of my mouth. But at the end of the day, you got to be fair to both angles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? Everybody's not gonna have your perspective, or like, I mean, because there's gonna be so many different perspectives. Some people are going to be like strictly one way or the other. And I saw the comment earlier, and I really don't get into politics and stuff like that. Yes, I did hear what happened, and I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm like, again, I don't get into politics on the channel. I want the person that's going to make us great. That's going to have us like, what I'm saying, regulate some stuff, man, because like we're out of whack. America's out of whack. And that debate to me sounded like a high school fight. You know what I'm saying? Well, he did this and I did this. And Mom, he touched me. Hey, look, he got on a green shirt. And I don't like green. I did not like it. And
Yeah.
I don't care on both sides. I just want us. I listen. I need the housing market to be regulated. I need the people that don't need to be here up out of here because as a veteran, I fought for our democracy. We helped other people, but let's take care of home first. That's one thing I learned. You take care of home before you take care of something else. Try the airplane mentality. And I talked about this before. If the airplane is in the air and you have lost the compression and like the oxygen is being sucked out. That little thing comes down. You put it on your face first before you help somebody else. Because if you try to help them, you don't understand the anxiety that comes between that. I've been through this training before where, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got seconds because you can pass out. So that's all I'm
Right.
saying. Let's take care, and we're gonna leave it at that. So
Well said.
Paul said, do we start calling these micro brand companies? No, when do we start calling these micro brand companies independents? Is there a misconception when he called micro brand versus independent? I'm gonna tell you this. My thought process is a micro brand is a company that does not put out a lot of watches. They're very limited, like a company called Mass Horology. He has one model, which is a homage of the Rolex Submariner. He has a bunch of strap options for it, but he has one watch, and I don't know. I don't think he puts out a lot per year. Probably less than 5,000 watches per year. I'm not sure, but that, my friend, is what I consider a micro brand. Now, Christopher Ward, independent. He's been in for 20 years, bro. Even Aragon is not Aragon, in my opinion, bro, is not a micro brand. He's an independent. That man has, oh my gosh, 40 or 50 different lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got so many different watches. He's doing a whole bunch of watches, bro. He just put that. So that's my opinion. What do you say, bro? What do you say, Skylar? I don't know.
I, I'll be honest with you. I think micro brand and independent brand are synonymous. I really think that, then this is my perspective. This is what I think. Because at the end of the day, whether you're putting one watch out or you're putting, I don't know, even 50,000 watches, 100,000, whatever, you're still not putting out anything near what the bigger guys are doing. Not just luxury section, but Seiko and everything else. So I think that either way, you could use it. I think that independent is a little bit more respectful than saying micro at this point because
Yeah.
of all the things that they've been doing and how they've, really leveled up over time. And again, Christopher Ward, 20 years, there's a lot of dues that were paid there. And, there's a lot of people saying that, all right, where do we draw the line? Like, as big as they are, as much as they're functioning, and
Hmm.
as much as they graduated as far as doing things, there's a lot of people that don't want to even call them an independent brand, but they are. They are. They're independently owned. They're independently run. They're not making a tremendous amount of watches. Whether we're talking about a brand
Right.
that's making one or two a week or a brand that's making 100 a week, it's still a limited amount, and they still could go out of stock very easily, and people will understand that. So for me, I think the two they go hand in hand. It's just a matter of how you want to call them. You know,
Yeah. Let's see. I got an 8 man in there, laughing out loud on the road. Okay, Luciano's on the road. I laughed at. He said, "I'm a nano brand." That's dad monster's crazy, bro. He said, I'm a nano brand. You a nano branded, bro. I was looking at what you put on Instagram. Oh, absolutely beautiful, bro. Um,
yes, sir.
I'm going to. So here's my deal: is I'm going to have to sell a few watches to get some watches from you in my collection. I have to get one of your mods, if not two or three. Bro, I have this. It's imperative that I get because you do some amazing work, bro. I love what you do, man. Like those. Oh, you're a villain, bro. You are so evil when it comes to horology. Gosh, man, my wallet's like, yo, Trap, what are you doing? I said, man, but look what he just did. He's like, don't look, stop, get off Instagram. I had to slap my wallet out the way, bro. I was like, hey, man, but yeah. And Mr. McGraw, you said, what about Yimmer? I'm very interested in Yimmer. I love Yimmer, the micro rotor. I do want to own one day. Um, I like that. I think they got the Superman. I do want to own. I would like the Yimmer. I did look, however, and seeing the comments that were made about Yimmer. Um, Somebody actually did a video that their customer service isn't as great. So I
Mm,
don't know. I don't know. Um, and I don't want to lose this. I'm coming right back to what I said before. I've been an Invicta collector for a long time, but I
mm,
pointed out something to Dave D or Mr. Sailcloth. Um, I was looking at Shop HQ, and of course they purchased glycine. And I looked at, if you scroll down, if you buy, so that review of my glycines will come out tomorrow. But it was something that I noticed about the latest glycine that I got that I absolutely do not like. I mean, it really, they dropped the ball. I'm be honest. Glycine, I love glycine, but it was something they did that I don't agree with. You guys will see it tomorrow. Um, but the biggest thing is, when you look down through Shop HQ's page and you see the description, you see Ashford's, which is a completely different company than Shop HQ. That's where you have to go. Any warranty work, you have to go through them. And I said, wait a minute, time out. I subscribe to you because you have provided hundreds of watches. You provided jewelry. You provided my Shaq kitchenware when he was a part of. You have provided sheets, the battery daddy, all this stuff because I believed in what you guys do, right? And I thought, like with the personalities that you have there, the TV personalities, it's not their job because they are paid to promote. They're paid to have some type of knowledge of what they are putting out. Even, and I've seen them work. I've actually is at the network. It's times where they have to go in there and they're giving them, here, this is what you got to talk about. So they're on the fly with it. So they have to learn about it. They got the people in their ear, like, okay, this has this. So they are professionals in their thing. They have nothing to do with the warranties. And that to me is deception. This is why so many people that I know had stopped. They jumped off the Invicta bandwagon because of the practices. And even though Shop HQ is ran by iMedia, um, well, I guess it's still iMedia, whatever the company is now. Um, it still is intertwined with Invicta. So if Shop does something wrong and it's an Invicta show, Invicta's gonna catch heat for it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. So there's some misconceptions and there are some missed opportunities, bro. Like we just got through talking about it. Where does the customer fit in your criteria? Is okay, your name is out there. You should want to give the customer the best experience, the best opportunity, because Invicta collectors on average, man, like 25 or more watches in their collection.
Oh yeah.
25 on average, you know what I'm saying? Because I know people that got over 1,000 watches in their collection. I
Yeah.
mean, solid watches, man. There's one guy that has, I believe, in the world, he has the most diamonds in the world. Diamond Invicta pieces, man. This man has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not doing rumor mill. This is something that he proved during COVID because he actually showcased it on Facebook when he called Invicta. He told him, hey, could you tell me what I did, how much I spent? And they was like, well, up to this point, you spent $225,000. And I was like, on Invicta, God, dog. I said, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then he called another one. And he was like,
Lights
well,
up.
you spent, bro, man, I said, bro, close to like $1 million in Invicta sales with just one person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of the things like you got the money, go ahead and knock it out, man. What's up, Vic? But still, don't you think at that point there's a family vibe that your collectors go by? There's a code that all Invicta collectors go by, right? And they know that code. You see it because I spoke to AL myself on a cruise. He couldn't even imagine how this whole thing got started. But like I said, you got it. And I told him to his face, I said, I don't think you know what you got in your hands, bro, because these people are loyal. I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
man, like you seen it. Talk about an Invicta collector out in the street, in YouTube street. Like Vic's down there. Vic done cussed out of plenty people talking about the Magnums, boy. Get out to mommy's
Yeah.
basement with your Dorito crumbs on your chest. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of passion for Invicta collectors. So it's a shame to hear about these things that are going on, but it just goes to show you, anybody's susceptible to to getting too big for themselves or getting too, going too spreading themselves too thin on certain aspects and not staying, true to where they need to really stay true on. And it's kind of crazy, man, because I've learned through a lot of stuff about Invicta through watching you and watching a lot of your videos, and seeing the cruises, seeing the interaction, seeing the passion, man. If you go back and you watch people who do on YouTube on Invictus, man, they're running off of pure passion as it goes. And
Hmm.
like you said, their collection is plentiful, plentiful. So there's a lot of customers and there's a lot of returning customers to that company where they need to really double down on that. No matter how big they get, they almost have to roll the pot even more so for showing that appreciation back to them. So, I'm actually excited to see your live on that. I want to be
Yeah.
educated as far as learning more about that, the right way. But you know, COVID must have been also a big turnout for them as well, man. Like you already had a lot of people that were very heavily into Invictas and having
Hmm.
their collections, and you're coming off of the years where big watches were a really big thing, and it continued to be. You know what I mean? And COVID just made their sales go up and skyrocket. I'm sure, like everyone else. So
Bro.
it's a crying shame, man. It's sad. It's really sad to see anything go on a
So,
decline after that.
bro, the breakdown for Invicta, they have like with Shop HQ, right? You look at Shop HQ, they struggled for years. They were making money in different things, man. But like, because Wing used to be a part of Aragon was a part when they were Android, right? But he needs to get a bigger piece of the pie. And I would say when he left iMedia, that was the best thing he could have done because now the customer is pretty much his marketing. He don't
Yeah.
have to pay for commercials. He don't have to do anything. He gets his YouTube channel. He gets on Facebook, and guess what happens? We buy. We talk about it. We post it. I posted so many different watches from Wing. You had a bunch of people posting their watches, man. There's different channels and stuff. And for what he has to be successful, bro. Think about it. This man put out, and you talking about exposing the company, like the industry. Answer me this question. Everybody in the chat didn't know this. Two
Mm.
things. At the beginning of this year, this man promoted a grade one titanium 45 millimeter dive watch, right? Great loom on it, sapphire crystal, a Miyota 9015 still offers the 200 meters of water resistance, screw down crown. Bro, you name it, it's on there. The
Hmm.
watch has it, it's comfortable. It's a great watch, and plus it has its own design cue. It does not mimic any other dive watch, period, right? He has
Mm.
his own design language for $175.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
what? I
Yeah, that's
mentioned that to
crazy.
the people over there at KWC. And there's a
Right.
watchmaker with a watchmaker mouth like, say what? He just dropped. Do you see? He just dropped. Was that 3-4 days ago? He just dropped a mystery box, another mystery box, a GMT. You don't know what it looks like. I think it's
Hmm.
a 50 millimeter, and it's $88. $88.
Yeah, that's
Come
crazy.
on,
Yeah,
bro. Come on, bro.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Skylar, Skylar, let
Yeah.
me ask you this. You mod watches, right? You put stuff together.
Right. Uh huh.
If you right now, if you were to, let's say I wanted you to build me a watch, and I
Hmm.
say, hey, I want just a stainless steel watch. I want sapphire crystal. I want an NH34 dial. I want good loom, whatever the case is, man. I need you to build that for me and send it to me. Can you do that for me? Well, of course, I'll pay for shipping, but can you do that for $88 or even $100? Is it possible?
I mean, technically for me, it is. I have done it within that price range, but it took a lot because I've done releases on watches and I bought all the parts in bulk, and it's gone back and forth for me to negotiate that. So
Hmm.
technically, I have done it for that price, but you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that for that. But as far as that movement goes, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be that Miyota movement and everything else. It'd be a regular NH35 and something like that. But it could be done, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Okay.
get on here and cap. It could be done. It could be done
And
for
that's why I'm
sure.
asking. Listen, because as far as that's concerned, because I've never, I mean, KWC helped me put my own watch together, right? I I showed this watch many times. I put this watch together myself, right?
Mm,
And for the experience. I paid for the experience, and I learned a lot, bro. Like learned the testing equipment. And what was dope too was that watch was actually tested on Rolex equipment. The
Okay.
pressure test, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, that's great, right? But I learned a lot. But as far as like, I know if I ordered the stuff and I was putting it together, okay, cool, whatever the cost of it, that makes no difference. But you said it takes a lot for you
Yeah.
to do that. So imagine if there was 1,000 people that wanted a Skylar Santana piece for $88, and they wanted it. And I mean, like, how much work is that, bro, for you to do? Like 1,000 people. Like, how long would that take
Yeah.
you?
Forever. I'll be back here sweating, man. I got my
He
work
said,
bench back there, man.
"Yeah."
Sweating.
Let me
Nah,
say,
yeah.
Mr. Sailcloth said, "You should not be loyal to any company. It's just business that's out to get your money." Yep. Hey, what's up, Vinny? 95% of my collection is Invicta. Then Tony White said he had 10 watches. I'm like, hey, get out of here.
Capping on the
Oh
front.
man. Yeah, bro. He got 10 watches in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Then he said he can't compete with people here. Can Skylar build me my Heritage Magnum since Invicta won't? Man.
No
Hey,
way.
could you modify a Magnum? You think that's possible?
You know what? I've never gotten into. I had somebody reach out to me, right? They had an old watch with a particular movement on it, and they wanted me to see if I could take that movement, take all the original stuff, and put it to like, let's say, an NH35 casing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I honestly, that's probably a question for dad mods. Like the limitation to my modding has always been take NH35 parts and put them all together. When you start cross, you know, modding stuff like that, I would imagine that you would need the correct amount of spacers, because then that movement, if it's too small inside the casing, whenever you pull the crown out and push the crown in, even if by a fraction of a space, you're gonna have that movement shifting in and out from just that friction from the keyless works and or just that locking and unlocking. So,
Right,
for
right.
me, I've never messed with trying to replace a full case or swapping movements and stuff like that. It's always been like, hey, I'm on an NH35 movement, let me get the NH35 compatible parts and then take it from there. The furthest I've done is just dials. Like I've
Okay.
pretty much got in touch with manufacturers that'll do any kind of what do you call that? Any kind of symbol that I want, any kind of, thing that I want to do on that. But yeah, man, as far as that goes, and I know it's been able to do it, but not for me. I haven't been able to. Sorry about the echo, guys. I think that was on my end.
Okay. So I just, like I said, I went to Kokomo today, and they just got a part of their booth up, like to do paint. So I had been telling you guys that I had a watch being built, right? So the last step is actually getting the dial painted. Everything
Mm,
else is pretty much ready to go. Once that's done, we should see the creation.
nice.
We should see the creation. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And then my movement came in. So I've taken the Sabaku number one case, taken the quartz movement out, and I'm building a watch from not from scratch. I'm still using the case, but
Mm,
the Valjoux 77 has arrived. I saw that yesterday or day before yesterday. And all we have to do now is, well, like once they put it in, I have to get the dial locked in what I really want on the dial. And there's another feature that I'm going to be doing. And yeah, bro, I cannot wait for that. It's going to be amazing because we talked about it day before yesterday. And I was like, he just wrote down everything. He said, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Boom, boom,
mm,
boom. And that one is going to be one, and that's going to come. I'm not even debuting that one until I go to the cruise. Even if I
mm.
get it back in the next 2 months, the only time they'll get to see it is when we on the cruise. I'm gonna be cheesy like how Shop HQ be doing that unveiling stuff. Bro, I'm gonna have like I'm going all out. I'm gonna have his own single briefcase. I'm gonna have the handcuffs to me to the bro, and then hey bro, I'm telling you,
You breaking
I
out
am going.
all the things.
bro. I'm gonna have a tuxedo like I'm James Bond, bro. I'm telling you, this is gonna be crazy. What is Vic talking about? Godfather. Let me see. GF 11723. Oh, I missed it. It's a huge pain. Oh, you said it's not worth it. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So Dad Ma said it's not worth it. You need
Mm,
someone to 3D print a movement holder that will
that
fit
makes
properly.
sense. That
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
in that see they have one. Like the company like KWC, they have one. So that's the only way like I'm getting mine, so which
Yeah.
I think is pretty that's pretty solid. It's
Yeah,
pretty solid.
because like I said, I had someone ask me to see if I could do something like that, but honestly, I don't feel comfortable because I don't have the tools. I didn't even think about 3D printing. That's the smartest way to go because at that point, no matter what movement you're trying to transfer over, obviously you can get it snug as a bug putting it through that 3D printer. So that's actually
Right.
pretty nice to hear. But yeah, going back to the custom watches that you have going, man, be careful with that, man, because listen, I just finished recording a video talking about my
Hmm.
custom mods and my custom journey, and I was doing B-roll to get all the watches that I've done as far as a custom watch goes. And when I tell you, it's like pretty much half my collection, and I didn't realize how far it got away from me. Like when you collect, like not only the watches that I built, but the watches that I modified. I'm like, damn! I'm like, I just kept pulling watches out. I'm like, oh, I need this one. I need this one. I looked at the watch box, and I'm like, oh, that's half my collection. So be careful, man. Be careful.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
addictive.
yeah.
It's addictive.
It is, man. It is. But okay. So I'm gonna share something with you because me and Dave D was talking about this, bro.
Mm,
When it comes to watches and stuff like that, and there I agree with that, man. Like loyalty to a watch company can cause you to miss out on a lot. You know,
mm,
for example, I had a mission when I was in the military, bro. Like I said, there was like so Hamilton was a watch that I wanted to get when I was in the army.
mm,
And I got Casio, so I rocked my Casio. I said, okay. And I would only have like maybe three watches at a time. I wouldn't go more than that, right? I was like, okay, I got two Casios, I got this Armatron. Then I get gifted a watch, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? Then I had seven watches, and then I was like, oh crap. So I gave some watches away. I got some more watches in. You know what I'm saying? Was going back through this thing
mm,
back and forth. Had my Seiko, and then when I got overseas, I got the bonus money, right? And right time, right place. I guess they were selling the Rolex. I said, you know what? Why not? I got the cash. You know what I'm saying? Popped them over the head, and I'm gonna say this. I wore the watch. I wore my Rolex, and I was like, I said, dude, I don't want to tear this up on deployment, bro. So I put my watch up, and I had it in a spot where I know if you came to try to mess with something, like it was buried. You're not getting to this
mm.
watch. So I didn't wear it for the rest of the deployment, and I wore it back home on the plane, and went to go play basketball. Day I got back, left it in the car. Somebody broke in my car, and Rolex is gone. Right? Yeah, but here's the deal: is it hurt. And of course, I filed my insurance and stuff like that, got the money
Mm,
back for what I paid for it. But I was like, I really didn't care. I could have bought another Rolex. I was like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll stick to, the watches I know. I bought another Seiko and was rocking that. And I was happy, man. And fast forward to when I became an Invicta collector, I was just enjoying that. It was more the people, really. Like the people, man, it was so great, running to people like, Tony White, you know what I'm saying? All the people from 757 from Florida. Like it was this family that I wasn't used to. I said, man, this is crazy. So I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the Sabakwas, whatever. And I did not pay attention to other watches that I had said before.
mm,
Focus. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the watches that you want to set out. So like the Omega Seamaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, there was one. We had it not too far from my house, man. That sucker was like, what was it, $2,200 back then.
mm.
Now, that same watch, same colorway, is $5,500. So just think, this was 2017. I wanted that
Right.
watch. I didn't get it. I was buying a Victor. I was like, oh, you know what? I'll get to it one day. It ain't going nowhere, not knowing that the the prices would like double. Prices double, so I missed out on that one, man. But like now, in the past 2 years, I have focus. I got my Hamiltons, bro. I got Hamiltons, bro. Like I got four of these things over here. We ain't do no wristwatch check, bro. I'm
Oh yeah,
tripping.
oh yeah.
I am tripping,
I got you.
man.
Let me take
So
off first.
I got yeah. I'll take mine off first too. I got the
Yeah,
cane. Hold on. I got the cane
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Got you,
Yeah.
got you. So check this out, man. I got this watch, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Uh, I was, how do you say? I got caught up on watching videos, and I watch a lot of, YouTubers now that are starting making channels just because I just want to see, how they're swinging things and how they're going about things. And one thing that I noticed, the reoccurring theme for a lot of the channels was the OG.
Oh
Yes, sir.
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so here's the funny thing about it, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I bought it just by seeing this thing pop up on so many channels, whether it be a new
Mm-hmm.
channel or not. Oh, oh, sorry, dropped the mic. Whether it be a new channel or not, everybody,
Drops the mic.
yeah, everybody was reviewing this on their channels, almost like a rite of passage. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me buy the watch. And so afterwards, I learned that not only that it's a great legendary watch, it's also a birth year watch. It was out at 1989 in June. We're in June, so it was kind of cool, man. After the fact, getting this watch, and now that I'm customizing some Casios, I want to get into it and everything else. But yo, man, the most affordable watch that you could ever get, and it runs toe to toe with a Bel Cantos. It has the hour
Hey.
chime on it.
Yup.
It's dead
Yup.
accurate and everything else. So it's kind of cool, man, to just appreciate something so affordable and have so much fun. And I think this is what it's all about, man. You know what I mean? So that's what's all
Guess
about.
what, bro? So I go back to 1990. I
Okay.
got that watch going into high school for my birthday,
Yeah.
1990, bro. Like
Yeah.
July 12th, 1990. And I was rocking that thing, man. And I got it so much at school because I had the alarm set beep, beep, at 2 o'clock. And I would let it just go. My teacher would be like, yo, who watch going off? I said,
Right.
oh, my bad. And I beep. She was like, hey, look, going to the dean office. I was like, because my watch went off? You let that watch go off for like the past 12 seconds. And I was like, man, whatever. So, yeah, bro, I had that watch back in the day, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, listen, my wife told me, she's like, so you look at the specs on it and it says that the battery's gonna last for 7 years. So my wife was like, my dad had that watch. And I was like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, he still has it. And I was like, that's crazy. She was like, oh, he changed the battery like once or twice in 40 years. Like the battery lasts way longer than 7 years on that watch.
It
Unless you're
do,
messing
bro.
unless you're messing with the light all day long, it really lasts forever. It's crazy.
Hold up. I don't know. Okay. I don't know where I put it. I'll probably put it back in the case. So my deployment watch, bro. My deployment. Think about this. I bought the watch in what was it? 2006.
Mm,
Was it 2006? No, 2007. I bought the watch in 2007. It's a Casio. So I go over. I train in the watch. I had my Armatron too, so I didn't always wear that watch. Like you know what I'm saying. Well, like when I did all my training, I wore the Armatron because I'm getting it dirty, muddy, this, that, and other, and I would throw that on after training. So I went through deployment 2008, right? Come back 2009. I had a year off. Then I go back on my second deployment 2010 to 2011. And I'm wearing the watch to come back home, do my thing. And leading all the way up to 2014, I was wearing this watch on a regular basis, right? And then that's when wifey, that Christmas of
mm,
2014, she bought me my first two Invicta, right? So
mm.
I took that watch off and put it in a box. I put it all in my military box. Bro, I did not like we moved in this house in 2016, I think. Yep, 2016, because her dad had just passed away. And we moved in this house. I had all my military stuff in the box. I did not take it out, bro. January of last year, January of
Mhm.
last year, that watch was working and I was gonna do a live review on it, and it died right before I went live. The
That's
battery died.
crazy.
The battery died. I just replaced the battery, man. Like what 3 weeks ago, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Like that
that's
watch
crazy.
lasted forever, bro.
It really does. Yeah, it really does. And Scott was saying that he was just looking at those yesterday. Yo, get you one, man. They're fun, super
Got to,
affordable. I mean, you're
bro.
talking about less than $20. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to have like a minimalist day, like for me, I'm gonna crack this open and I'm gonna mess around with the polarized film. I'm gonna do a little bit of mod. But dude, I've seen some crazy. I went down a rabbit hole with it. I've seen some crazy mods with this watch. Like some people were putting like little chips inside of it where they'll take like the credit card chip out
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
they'll mod it into the watch and then they could pay for stuff like you do on an Apple Watch
What?
and yeah, changing out the
Oh,
backlight because the backlight is notorious for being bad on this and
yeah,
they
yeah.
just fixing it. But people were putting like SD cards, just a whole bunch. You'll see it, man, when you pop it on YouTube. Like people do some really crazy stuff with this watch in particular.
Time
So
Expedition is my only digital. It's been three continents with me so far. Best travel watch. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm with that, bro. I'm with that. So let me ask you this, bro, and
Mm.
people in the chat, you can answer this. If you can have one just like reasonably priced major brand, what would you get? And I'm not talking micro or independent. If you could just have one major brand that's inexpensive, right? I'm gonna say under $1,000. What would you get? What would you recommend?
One brand that I would recommend under $1,000. Man, I honestly, respectfully, and all the stuff that we said earlier, I would have to go Seiko. I would have to say Seiko because I feel like
Seiko?
either Seiko or Citizen because they both will cover such a broad aspect of different styles and everything else as far as that goes. Like comfortably, as far as covering everybody, meaning like who would I recommend to somebody who's not even a watch person? Yeah, I probably have
Hmm.
to give it to Seiko on that one. To be honest with you,
Seiko?
yeah. How
Okay.
about you?
Okay. I'm going Citizen.
Yeah, see,
No
I said either
question.
Seiko or Citizen. I knew the Citizen. I knew he was gonna say Citizen, man. I should have just said Citizen and left it alone. I knew he was gonna say Citizen. No, but definitely, I
Hey,
agree with I agree with that.
and you know, here's the deal, man. And I was looking at the Gotta Watch criteria that's out there on YouTube. Um,
Hmm.
you can't go wrong with Seiko Citizen or I will say Boulevard is the price just don't match. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they're like their dive watch, their double diver, man. That's too much. $1,300 for a Miota 8,000 series? Nah, bro. And because it
Yeah.
has 660 feet, 666 feet of depth ratio is great, knowing that your watch can go down that far, knowing that we're not. Like your
Never.
body can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be in the sub, and then you have to depressurize and stuff. Knowing that your watch can do that is great.
Hmm.
Practically though, if you're gonna wear, and then on top of that, that double diver that's a thick boy.
Hmm.
That's a thick boy. And I'm like, but I like it though. I love the way it looks. It's robust. It's massive. And if that watch was around the $600 mark, I would have one in my collection with an
Hmm.
8,000 series. I would have one in my collection, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that. So Citizen, I think, offers most bang for bucks, and Seiko, because Seiko throws those sales out there. And I'm gonna say this: I'm gonna take a page out of a man's book that says sometimes getting some of the older watches are better than trying to grab what's new, because we're looking at what's right now. We're looking at
Hmm.
what's right now. And sometimes you're missing out on some of those watches from back in the day that you can get a good deal on. You can still get them serviced. And so that's my mentality right now. Is I was just having this conversation with Dave earlier. And Oscar, hey, Tissot is a great brand too. I will recommend Tissot to people. As well as I like Hamilton too. But um, I was talking about the maintenance of this watch, and I was with a watchmaker today, and he was like, break it down like this. If you bought a Rolex to get a Rolex service, right? You know what I'm saying? Just like a basic service, you're looking over $1,000. And they
Hmm.
say they want you to get it serviced every 7 years. If you had to pay $1,000 to $1,200 to get your watch serviced, that's a lot up top. But if you just like threw $100 in an account each year or a month or $50 here and there, and your watch had to get serviced, you got the money in there. It's inexpensive to get a Rolex, you know what I'm saying, service if you look at it from that standpoint.
Hmm.
Now, if you went and spent the money or you did whatever to get a higher end brand, let's
Something big.
say like yeah, like Patek or something like that, you're talking about $15,000 for a basic service on that thing, bro. He was telling me today that in some cases to get certain watches fixed, man, they're talking about 50 grand to open that thing up. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
crazy.
And he said, and you better hope that they don't have to fabricate because they do factor in some pieces aren't available anymore. So they have to
Hmm.
fabricate certain metals, springs, and stuff like that. So I was like, as much as I love watches, and that I mean you're one lottery ticket away from buying something stupid anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like if you play lottery, just think about it, bro. Could you imagine if you played a scratch off, won $1 million, got back $600,000 after you got through doing whatever? You say, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna buy. I found a pre-owned 5711. It's 38,000,
Hmm.
and you get it. You wear it. You don't know when the oh well, they should have the service record, but let's say you got it and it hadn't been serviced before you bought it, and you wear it and it goes out. You take it to the shop and they be like, okay, how much it costs to get this fixed? I got some money. Oh, that will be $78,000 because we have to pay. I'm like, say what? I
Right.
paid 30 for it. Well,
Right.
sorry, sir, it's older and we don't have these parts. I'm like, Lord, hammer. What's up,
Yeah.
DK?
Nah. That's crazy. That's for sure
Thoughts
crazy.
on the Swatch Moon Watch? Tempted to
Moonwatch.
buy it. I think it's a fun watch to get. I mean, I think it's fun. You know, I know some people on like the talking heads will say it's absolute trash. Is this? I think it's fun to just get into it, and even having the aesthetic of that moon watch. You know what I'm saying? That Omega. And I know it's Swatch, but I think it's cool. I just think it's really cool. It's inexpensive. You know what I'm saying? Like the new one, if you have that store near you, I think the price would be like just under $300 for that. The new ones, like they drop
Right.
$50 on them. So
Hmm.
go, I would say go for it if you can.
Yeah.
Why
I
not?
agree. I agree. As long as listen, as long as you know what you're getting, you know you're not getting, something that you can wear every day, something that you could beat up. I would say probably put that in your collection if you're not going to be wearing it too much or you're not going to be wearing it when you're doing something too crazy and too rough. I have the Moon Watch and I don't put it on all the time. I don't put it on every day. I know that I can't expect it to go through something crazy. So, but I have a lot of fun with it. It puts a smile on
Oh,
my face. You know what I mean? Was that worth the money I spent? Absolutely. So,
mm-hmm.
you got to go by that. Like, how much joy do you think the watch is going to bring you? But just know exactly what you're getting on it, for sure.
Hey, I would say that about you, bro. That is, and I've bragged on your channel and your whole personality on here, but bro, you have so much fun when it comes to watches, and I love your outtakes, man. Your blooper, the fact that you include those. That one
Yeah.
day I was having such a bad day, bro, when you did the blooper reel. I just laughed. I said, Santana's crazy.
Yeah, man, because I was a little apprehensive of putting the bloopers in. I'm like, but then I was like, wait a minute. I'm not looking to be super buttoned up when I do this, and this is all for fun. Doing the content is part of the hobby. It's part of the fun. And if I'm not having
Yeah,
fun when I'm doing it, then there's no point. So I definitely wanted to include that because I thought it was funny, man, with all the stuff that we were doing. I'm sorry about the
I
echo,
said,
man. I don't know what's going on with it. Not sure why it's
um,
echoing.
so you know what? And I'm gonna say this, man, because like I do, man, you know the comments we get. You know what I'm saying? Like people say some things, and I've had a few comments about some of the recent watches that I showcased, and I have fun with it. You know, I had showcased
Thank you, Vic.
this one right here. I showcased this one right here, my Hamilton. That's that crosswind,
Yeah,
right?
that's fire.
I really like the watch, and I mean it's a robust piece. I looked at all of the reviews on it, but I liked the watch for years. You know what I'm saying? And I said, hey, the opportunity came. I said, why not? And again, there are certain watches that I have in my collection that the price, you can't beat the price whatsoever, man. But there was an opportunity to get a watch and deal with a company that I absolutely love to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And I don't necessarily need the specs, and I get it. Hamilton spec wise doesn't compare to certain other watches in this criteria, but that's not gonna keep me from not getting it. You know, I'm like, hey, okay, you got 5 bar here, 10 bar here, should be 200 meters. Who cares? I got dive watches that can cover that. When I want to go
Right.
swimming, bro, I got an Invicta piece over here, 500 meters of water, and bro, I'm not diving no more than like what 26 feet, bro. Like when I go on a cruise, bro, it's like a 30-foot swim we doing 30 feet down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm cool with that. My watch can deal with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am
Right.
listen, I don't need a watch. They'll be like, hey, this thing can go 1,015 feet. I'm not my body explode at that point, bro.
Yeah, I would never survive that. I would never know how to. And exactly, that's
Yeah.
exactly like my San Martin was 200 meters, man. And I just recently, I haven't gone into a pool in years, but I got invited to a friend's house. He has a pool. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna jump in. I'm having some fun. That's the extent of what my watches are gonna really have to deal with at the end of the day. And even if it wasn't rated for that, it probably would be okay so long as all the gaskets and everything else. So we get caught up on it. It's cool to like know that they could go that far. It's more like, oh, what do you got over there? What you got over there, my guy? I'm not buying. I'm not buying watches no more. Uh oh. Yeah, I like how they threw it to you and you caught it. That was like, oh, I think that was rehearsed, man. That was too convenient.
No, he's always been good at that one. Let me see. What is this? Well, let's find out.
Yes, sir. Unboxing. Trap, I'm probably gonna get off in like 5 minutes if you cool with that.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
I gotta see what's in the box first. Though. We got over there. Skip.
Ugh.
He tearing through that thing like a kid on Christmas. Professional
Ugh.
watch box opener. Look at that smile on his face.
Oh, yeah,
What you got?
boy. Okay. Yeah, boy. Ooh. Ooh, look at the card. Look at the card. Look at the card. Oh, yep. Don't look at the card. Oh, smell it, Vision. If you can smell this right now, oh my gosh.
Vincent says ball.
It says ball. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Very nice. Very
Woo!
nice. Package has arrived.
Yes. Yes, sir, boy. Look at that there, boy.
That's
Mm,
nice, man.
mm, mm,
Yeah, that's real nice.
mm,
H-link bracelet. Yeah. Very
mm,
nice.
mm,
Fire.
mm.
Very nice.
Yes. So this
What's the
right
story?
here, the story behind that, my grandmother worked for Amtrak. That was her
Okay.
one and only job, right? So I was like, you know what? I think I'll like to get a ball, man, because I looked at that story about how they didn't have accurate timing, and one engineer, his watch was off by like 4 minutes. He thought he had more time, so they hit on the
Mm,
track. He was supposed to be off the track. This is like late 1800s, and these trains collided, right? So
hmm
now Mr. Ball came up with this system, a very accurate watch, and you had to have, I think it was like every 3 or 4 weeks that you had to have your watch calibrated. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And it could be had to be within 30 seconds or something like that. So I got this in spirit of my grandmother, man, seeing that she actually has a patent for one of the switchers for Amtrak. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh,
I didn't know
snap.
my grandmother was an engineer. I had
Right.
no idea until my mom got sick and I was going through her paperwork and I said, my grandma was an engineer for a train. I said, that's crazy. So it only makes sense to get a ball watch added to the collection, man. So this is in spirit of my granny. You know what I'm saying? That right
Yeah, that's
there.
what's
Now
up.
this is the fireman edition, but yeah, y'all know ball expensive. This one was like dirt ball cheap. So yeah.
Congratulations, man. It's nice.
Woo!
I know what's
Yeah,
going to be on the
yeah.
WRUW tomorrow.
You already know, bro. You already know. You already
Yes,
know,
sir.
bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That ball is killing it. Thank you, guys. Hey, I think we can stop right here, bro. We can stop right
Yeah,
here.
that's cool. That's
Uh,
cool.
I know you guys. Listen, man. Scarlett Santana, everybody, man. This guy is an upcoming and one of the like. He is what's needed for YouTube. I'm not just saying that because
Appreciate
he's
that.
on here, bro. I absolutely love watching your content, bro. You don't apologize for nothing, and you making us laugh and stuff like that, but you are doing some thought-provoking stuff, and you don't claim to be an expert watch collector. You're like, hey, I'm learning the game. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? You
yeah.
came into this game right, and that is so refreshing, man. Please keep that going, bro, and I know your wife will keep you in
100%.
check. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. Stay away from these watch
100%.
collectors' wives, man. Like, you can't be going after the founders' wives, bro. You got them flustered. They was like, "Oh, he's coming for me." Ooh.
I'm dead. That was good, man. That was good. Yeah, man. I listen, man. I appreciate you having me up here. We're gonna do this a lot. I want to do this next time. You'll hop on my channel. We'll
Okay.
have some fun, man. But yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate you giving me the time. I appreciate the praise, man. And yeah, you're right, man. I never claimed to be an expert. I don't think that really category really exists,
Mm.
in general. But I'm an enthusiast just like you guys, man. I want people to look at me as just part of the crew, and I just like to have some fun, and I show that, man. I show everything. I show the bloopers, I show the mistakes, I show the triumphs, I show everything. And I appreciate everybody
Okay.
supporting me, and I appreciate your support too, Trap. Big time.
Mm. Man, well, appreciate it. With that being said, hey, yeah, Paul, I know you love your ball watch. You're part of the reason why I got this one too, because you mentioned that, and I said, you know what, I don't have that in my collection, so let me get it together. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm tripping. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Share this out. Hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you follow Skylar Santana, man. He got some great stuff. Reach out to him, Dad Moz. Any other content creator that jumped in, man, show some love, man. Let's keep this thing going. Thank you guys so much. Hey, you know what? You be saying it. I like it. It all started with a watch. Yes, sir. I love that,
Yes,
boy.
sir.
Let's
Yes,
go. Let's
sir.
go. So
Yes,
y'all be
sir.
blessed, man. We catch y'all in the next one, man.